Wow, I'm watching Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and it has absolutely, I could connect absolutely everything. I'm in the middle five, and already five different concepts have been in my life. Most of them before the movie, of course, because most of them when I was a child and a teenager. But as an adult, I have shared with people all my recurrent dream, and my recurrent is still, well, not now, no, not anymore. But I have two. One, when I was a child, it was falling not down a black hole. I was falling into nothingness. It was not a hole. There was nothing, and it was just my bed and myself. And I was grabbing the bed. I don't know if I was dreaming or not. It doesn't matter. In my dream or whatever it was, I was grabbing the bed because I didn't want to feel alone in the nothingness. I needed some kind of protection because I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know till when. Maybe, I don't remember, probably not by 10, because then, after that, when I finished having those kind of recurrent dreams, the next one, and this is the one for the rest of my life, even a week ago, is that I am levitating. And how do I levitate? It is like in the movie of Ralph Hinckley, the American superhero, or something like that. The last American hero, I don't know, something like that, with Ralph Hinckley. He's like a Superman, but it's learning Superman. And it's so cool, the story, and I loved it. And it was something with his mind. And through my mind control and everything, I was always wishing, visualizing, dreaming, and in ecstasy probably, or alpha state, or whatever they want to call it. So all my life I've been levitating. And that was one of the biggest connections that I had watching Amanece que no es poco. Because I had many connections. Of course, Alice in Wonderland and Amanece que no es poco is another chapter. Another chapter of Alice. We are all Alice. We are all Jesus. We are all Buddha. We are all... But the ones who are denying that, and the father is so connected, and the mother so disconnected, and I'm watching 5 minutes, but I already forgot the words of the meeting that they had at the beginning. But the father was like, all the people was the rational people, and the father was the dreamer. And then the girl is saying, she's appearing there, another nightmare, and the father is concerned about that. And the father in the meeting, he's saying, it's up to believing in magic. If you don't believe in magic, it's never going to happen. So he was a big dreamer, and the daughter inherited that legacy. But most of the times, it's never inherited. So people come from other people who have never believed that they are still Alice. Because everybody felt like Alice probably when we were children, if we were lucky to read it or watch it in a movie or whatever. But it doesn't matter, because you've been living that life, but you have to be aware of that when you are a child. But maybe you are not so aware, when you are just so focused in living it, of course, that when you stop being a child, you are not aware of that magic anymore. But there are many people who are still aware of that magic. The thing is that different levels is just because there are these two kind of people, the ones who completely disconnect from the child, and the people who just never disconnect, but is not aware of this connection in so many ways, and many not aware of what happened, how it was the childhood, but because probably you were not living your life completely like you were dreaming it. But in a way, I was living my life in the way I was dreaming it, and it is almost like step by step with Alice. Call me crazy. And I could give so many examples when I didn't want to do the first communion. I was not interested in doing something because everybody was doing it, and I never wanted to celebrate something like that. I never got married. My grandparents were saying, you have to do the first communion because if you don't do it, you are not able to get married. And I was 8, 9, 10, 11. I said, I'm not even going to get married. I don't know. I was never thinking of following all the paths designed by adults for children. And then when I was 11, I had this crisis, that existential crisis, like, hey, do I have to stop being a child because I see everybody are pretending to be adults, or they think they are adults and they have to behave some way? It was many strange things at the same time that I had this crisis, and I spoke with my parents. I didn't want to meet my friends. I didn't want to, and I thought maybe with adults, and then I saw that they couldn't understand what I was feeling. And I was not aware in that moment what was going on, but I was not concerned. I was never concerned. I was like, okay, and what I do is just comparing if other people understand me. If they don't understand me, it's okay as well. If they understand me, hey, we can grow a relationship in all their aspects. But if you don't understand anything about that, so that happened with my parents when I was 11. And I've been very, very happy because they were my models of what I wouldn't do in order to be the not dual side of them. So it doesn't matter how good, bad, whatever people want to judge things. No. There is no good, bad, there is only a mixture of misinterpretations and reactions, and not controlling your emotions. There are so many combinations everywhere from the whole connection. It's not one person and the other. It's the same. It's part of the same energy, but they're not in the same world, in the same frequency, in the same color. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like with words. It's the not duality. It's okay. In my life, as a person, as the avatar, I want to be as in synchronicity as with all my Wonderland. Because my Wonderland was always in there, always in my life, always. But most of the times I didn't call it Wonderland, especially when I was a heavy metal guy in the 80s, that you had to be tough, but I wasn't. Then you are pretending, but you're not pretending being tough, but like not cheesy. I was not pretending to be a tough guy, but just not cheesy. And Alice in Wonderland for a guy who was a little bit cheesy in the 80s, being a teenager. But, and I had long hair, and nobody liked long hair, and I didn't like tattoos, so I didn't have tattoos. But then if I like them, if I see that everybody is having tattoos, probably I wouldn't. But I think I never liked them because I get tired of things that they've been like imposed. Even if you like it, to do something that is gonna brand you forever, it's not so important. But for me, it was not really no important. It was never in my mind like, should I do it? Should I don't? I was never there, never. Because when I was 19, maybe if I wanted, I would have done it. But I didn't want to. I'm not saying anything with this. I'm saying that I've been aware of always of what I want. And that's what I am telling the people all the time, to my brother, when I observed so many times when people are doing something in order to get approval. And that's the only way that only closes gets the connections more difficult. I'm going too crazy for Wonderland.